Hey guys, so today we are going to be working in the new entryway garden. I have quite a few plants that I would like to get in the ground. Today we are going to be planting some catmint, and this catmint is Cat's Meow. I already have Cat's Pajamas in the garden. This one's Cat's Meow by Proven Winners. They both are by Proven Winners. So this one is originally $9.97. So for the price of two, which would be about 20 something dollars and some change, I was able to snag 11 of them, all off the clearance cart for $2 a piece. So that is an amazing deal, really good deal. I could not pass that up. So I'm thinking about tucking them in this new entryway garden. Now, honestly, I probably wouldn't really tuck them over here, but all of the flower beds in the garden are full. So if you are new to the channel, my name is Whitney, and I garden in Virginia, Zone 7, on a wooded 1-acre lot that is covered in trash from the previous owner. I do have a dream of turning the whole entire lot into a garden, and in the winter time is when I clear the land and create new garden spaces and flower beds. So at the moment I don't have any new flower beds to tuck these in, so I'm thinking I'm just going to be tucking them in the new entryway garden. So I think it will look nice if I tuck them in between the obedient plant and the butterfly bushes. These butterfly bushes stay on the smaller size, so these get between 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. I am going to keep them on the smaller size. And these are also a clearance buy. I got these for $3 a piece. So I think I have 6 of them in this garden space. We are going to be planting the nepeta in between this area right here, in between the obedient plant and all of the butterfly bushes. I think that will look great. Also, we have a gorgeous Weigela we are going to get in the ground today as well. This one is Crimson Kisses. So this Weigela stays between 3 feet tall, 3 feet wide. I'm going to get her tucked over in this space today as well. And I am thinking of tucking her behind the arbor. I have a small space in between all of this sedum right here to tuck her in. So I'm going to tuck her right there. I might remove some of this sedum for a different garden space, but I'm not going to be doing that today. We do have a Weigela, another one as well. This is Wine and Roses, another clearance cart buy, but for some reason this one has stayed on the smaller side, which a lot of the Weigelas in my garden are pretty small. Not exactly sure why, but they don't do great in my garden. They typically stay on the smaller size. I do have 2 Weigelas already in this garden space. This is Magical Fantasy, which happens to be in bloom. And they bloom a dark pink and they fade to white. I did have to cut this back in the wintertime because the middle did die out. Another clearance buy, and they are extremely leggy because of the cutback, but they did bounce back beautifully, so hopefully they continue to do well. But we do have a lot of plants to get in the ground today, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by tucking the Weigela in the ground first. And our spot right amongst all of the sedum, right here. Eventually I might remove some of the sedum, not exactly sure, but let's go ahead and get the Weigela in the ground. ground is extremely hard over here. We haven't had rain in quite a while, so it is a little difficult. To break this ground up a bit. So, looks like there's a bit of trash, which I kind of knew there would be. This area has a higher concentration of the trash on the property, and this spot right here. So, it's carpet. Seems like it's in here pretty good. And a rather large piece of carpet. Let me get on this embankment. I think I loosened it up a decent amount. This is in there pretty good. I don't know how deep this is and if I'm going to be able to get it out. Seems like it goes under this sedum. Well, this might affect the sedum in this area, because this seems like a rather large piece of carpet. I don't know how I was able to get the sedum planted in this area with this carpet over here, but seems like the sedum was planted right on top of the carpet. Well, I'm going to have to replant this sedum elsewhere. I didn't expect carpet to be under it, but I do know this lot is covered in a lot of trash. Let's see if I can pry it out of the ground. This is in there really good. Just pulled up a nail. Maybe the tree roots have grown up through this, because it doesn't really seem like it wants to come out. So that could be the issue. Maybe some tree roots have grown through this carpet. Might have to cut it out of the ground. It just seems like it's a little bit in this area, but we are under a small redbud tree over here. Very difficult. So from this angle, it kind of looks like a tree root has grown up through the carpet. So I just cut that root. Yep, now it's gonna come up. And looks like we have some other trash. Don't exactly know what that is. But at least that is gone out of there. A little bit of glass. But carpet's gone. That is the important thing. I guess I can go ahead and tuck that sedum back into where it was. See how the root went right through the carpet? So I had to cut the root out to remove the carpet. I'm gonna go ahead and tuck the sedum right back in the spot. I do need to water it. This dirt is really crumbly, but it's in the ground now. The Weigela is gonna go right in this spot right here. Hopefully we don't dig up any more trash in this spot. Yep, that's big enough. I'm gonna go ahead and break up the root ball a bit. And she's gonna get tucked right in. I'm gonna grab the hose. Weigela is in and watered. The other sedum that I had to dig out, I tucked that in as well. This larger sedum is fallen over to the side because the carpet was somewhat under this one as well. But this one did have a really large spider living in it. It was one of those spiders that creates like a tunnel web. And I'm not exactly sure where he went at, so I don't really want to lift this sedum up because it was a pretty big spider. So that's going to have to wait a bit so I can make sure he is not in there. I don't want to get bit by him, but everything looks good. And we have our little mini bottle and our carpet, which we are going to throw in the trash. Let's go ahead and get some catmint in the ground. So as for the catmint, I'm just going to tuck them. Well, I do have daffodils in this area, so the ground kind of dips in where the daffodils were planted, so I'm going to look for that as I tuck the catmint in between this area right here, in between these plants. But we have 11 of them. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to put all 11 of them in this space, but let's go ahead and get a few of these in the ground. So far, I managed to tuck 3 in. The ground is extremely hard and crumbly due to the lack of rain, but hopefully we will get rain tomorrow. It's in the forecast, so hopefully we do actually get that rain. But 3 are in, so let's continue on down the way. Piece of plastic, cardboard, rock, This probably would be a lot easier if the ground wasn't as hard as it is. And if I had my auger, which I still have that at my mom and dad's house, so I have to do this the old school way. Probably would take a lot less time too, because I'm sure the auger will have no problem getting through all of this hard dirt. So a lot of these were soaking in water, so the root balls are not dry, but I will make sure I give them a lot of water since this area does seem to be really dry. I have 3 more to get in the ground. I'm going to dig up a little bit of this iris so I can tuck a couple over here. No, I think I have 2 left actually. And I was going to plant large clumps of irises in this garden. Not exactly sure if that's what I'm going to do now, but I do know that I want to remove some of this clump. I'm going to tuck one right in this spot here. So I have one more that I need to tuck in this space. The last one I'm going to tuck right here. I've already tucked one near this redbud tree. We are going to tuck the last one here as well. There's a worm in here. Want to make sure, yeah, so this is an invasive jumping worm. So I do have these on the property. Want to make sure to get rid of this worm because they destroy the soil. I'm going to go get rid of this worm real quick, but I do know it's an invasive jumping worm because if you pay attention, you can see that it moves in a snake-like manner. I'm going to show them. Well, no, it doesn't want to move. But originally when I took it out, it was moving in a snake-like manner. The iridescent color and their clitellum. So my camera ended up cutting off, but I did go ahead and get rid of that invasive jumping worm. But what I was saying, native earthworms, they have a band that goes around them that's called a clitellum, but it doesn't go all the way around them. It only goes halfway around them, and it is slightly risen. Whereas a jumping worm, their band is kind of like a tan whitish color, and it goes all the way around their body. So that is another sign that that is a jumping worm. But every time I see them, I just want to make sure I get rid of them because they are terribly bad for the soil. But our last catmint is in. I'm going to give these guys a good drink of water. So all 11 of our catmint is in. I gave everything a really good drink of water. Also, we planted a Weigela behind the arbor and removed a bit of trash also in this area. Everything's looking good. Hopefully we get that rain tomorrow. This area really needs it. The whole entire garden really needs it, honestly. But for the most part, everything is looking good. I do need to do a bit more weeding in this area and add some more mulch. The cardboard is coming exposed in this pathway area, so I did cut through a little bit of cardboard too when we were planting the catmint. So that wasn't that hard to cut through. Guess it's already started to degrade a bit and it is pretty dry, so that was pretty easy. I do also need to get some edging for this area as well, but that is going to be it for today, guys. I thank you for joining me on this project, and I hope again to see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.